pretty amazing to think that 2 years ago, Max Verstappen was still go-karting. About 2 hours ago, so was I, and Jason, over there. Wave, Jason. Santander invited us along to Ferrari World to take part in the now annual Nations Cup. The Italians, the Germans, the Spanish, the Brits. Have I missed anyone out? Oh, and us. The International Misfits, or All-Stars, as we would know. Great, great fun. Electric kart, slippery surface. Here's a couple of highlights of what happened on the day. Essentially, the highlights were we won. Mainly thanks to Diego from Canal Latin America, who put in a sterling stint, and Laurent Dupin from Canal Plus in France. I managed to spin. Jason, did you spin? Maybe, no, a little bit. You half spun. Anyway, didn't matter, we won. Brilliant. And then Diego, who'd set the fastest lap time, was set up with Haas F1 team's Esteban Gutierrez. They won their race, which meant it was 2 out of 2. Mega stuff. So there we go. One of the drivers there taking part in that contest was, of course, Kimi Raikkonen. Should have been great on a slippery surface like Iceman and all of that, and loves his ice driving. He wasn't great. But anyway, it's not been a great year for him, as he pretty much summed up when we spoke to him in the paddock in Abu Dhabi later in the day. Talk us through your year. Are you happy with the way you've raced this year? Are you happy with the results?
Well, obviously not. I mean, it's better than last year, but it's still far away from what I wanted it to be. But, you know, we had got a few DNFs and, you know, mistakes. So obviously you pay a price for that. So, you know, not ideal, but, you know, one race to go and then start all over again.
How do you change that for next year?
To do a better job overall, so I'm sure the speed-wise it's been pretty okay this year. So we just have to do small things better, and I'm sure we get that.
You know the job the team's done this year in preparing the car for next year. How confident are you that you and Sebastian will be able to mount a championship challenge?
Yeah, obviously, as a team, we've come from a long way from last year, and you know we work as a one team, as a Ferrari, and you know we all want to get Ferrari back where it was some years back, and you know everybody's pushing for that, and I hope for all of us that next year we'll be there to challenge really on every race weekends. But you know, time will tell. You know, there's no point to talk a lot here. We will see next year when we start testing and when we're going racing.
Kimi Raikkonen then, and Sebastian Vettel hoping for a much better 2016. The way the paddock feels in terms of the way in which the team has gone about their development plan for next year, and certainly all the noises coming out of Maranello, is that the car concept itself will be radically different to what the team had this year, and there is a real hope that Ferrari will be able to take the challenge to Mercedes, and we'll have a proper ding-dong battle next year between the two teams. Which then begs the question, what of Red Bull? Can they get themselves back into the fight? First, they need an engine. Who knows what's going on with that? It's been a tough year for them. What can you say? You know, a team hoping so much to bounce back from losing that championship to Mercedes, and they've been nowhere. Difficult for them, difficult for everybody that's worked there and taken championships, but difficult also for Danny Kvyat. And it's easy to forget that he's in only his second season of Formula One, but has acted with and raced, I think, with tremendous poise and with great maturity this year. So that really was the line of questioning for him here as he goes into his last race of the season. You know, how has he handled what has been a really difficult year, not just for a championship-winning team, but for a guy in only his second season in Formula One? How are you?
Good, you?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's been a tough year for you guys. How do you think you and the team have both handled everything that's been thrown at you?
I think we handled it well. To be fair, we faced a really tough beginning, but then we kind of stood up from the hard hits and started to score, I think, maximum points available with the package that we had. But obviously we expect more to develop our package better and to have a faster things in the future.
It's only your second season in Formula One as well. How much of a learning curve has it been for you?
It's been a lot, you know. Also changing the team obviously made me facing new things, new learnings process. Everything started basically, even if I didn't want to, but it started in a way from zero when I went to Red Bull Racing. So yeah, had to build everything up again, and I'm happy with what I managed to build up.
It's a team that's won a lot of championships. How much has the atmosphere within the team and what they've learned getting those 4 championships, how much has that helped you throughout the season?
Yeah, obviously, as a team, very, very strong team. We have a lot of things available for us. But obviously you win sometimes you lose. This year we haven't been probably where we wanted to be, but it's life, and but the potential of us is very, very, very high.
And where do you stand for next year? Where does the team stand, I should say, for next year? Are you going into the winter completely calm and relaxed that you'll be racing next year?
To be honest, at the moment I don't really know many things about what the future is holding for us, so we're still waiting for some kind of officialized news, and hoping that they will come soon, and hoping that they will be positive enough that we can make a step forward. I think what team said is that we are very, very looking forward to be on the grid next year, but like I said, we have to wait for a few news first.
So from a young driver with very little experience at this level, having to contend with a difficult season, to a driver, a multiple World Championship winning driver, having to contend with possibly the worst season he's ever had to go through. Fernando Alonso's return to McLaren was much vaunted and also quite controversial given how hideously and acrimoniously it all ended last time. But it's been far more difficult than anybody, I think particularly Fernando, ever imagined it would be. Fernando, when you were a kid in your McLaren Honda pushcart, this can't have been what you'd imagined for the first time you drive a McLaren Honda. Talk us about your year.
Yeah, difficult year in terms of results, probably one of the toughest in my career, because only Minardi scored less points than this year, but in Minardi I didn't expect any, so definitely quite tough season. But on the other hand, very interesting year, a lot of learning about the McLaren philosophy of developing the car with Peter Prodromou, and a lot of learning from Honda about the approach to races, the discipline on working. So very positive year on those aspects. And I think people say that what it doesn't kill you make you stronger, and we are alive, so I think we are stronger than 12 months ago, and this will make us some stronger also next year, I think, in terms of pace.
It must be very interesting for you, because the last time you were at McLaren you had so much success throughout the year, and yet the relationship ended so acrimoniously after just 1 year. This year you've had no success, if you excuse me saying, and yet the relationship appears great. How does it feel to be back in the team?
Yeah, it feels great. It feels very different team also from what I found in 2007, with a lot of people from many teams, and just enjoying time. And as you said, there are people that are right now winning races, or even in the podium, and they are not very happy in the podium, or they are throwing the cup to the teammates, and for us it's a completely different thing. So I know that there are a lot of frustration on Saturdays and Sundays for us, because the results are not there, and we know that we have a huge potential in McLaren Honda that we need to unlock, let's say, for next year. But in terms of life, in terms of atmosphere, harmony in the team, we are on top of anyone.
Going into the winter now, do you spend the next few months relaxing, or is it nerves over that first test and that first day in the car and what it's going to feel like?
No, now relax. Enough of tension and enough of difficulties this year. I think we deserve a little bit of a break now, and definitely there are some curiosity, some to know something about next year engine, about next year numbers on the wind tunnel. That's for sure, but probably in January we'll start that curiosity.
So that's your lot from Paddock Pass here in Abu Dhabi. Here are your times for the weekend. Extended coverage throughout the weekend. It's going to be a great last weekend. We're really looking forward to it, going out on a high and hoping for a great race. Thanks for your time, thanks for joining us, and we will see you later. Goodbye.